You got Texas ASU, which is just really cool. We got Sark, Kenny Dillingham. To me, kind of the same guy to a degree. If you go back to Sark at 32, 33 years old, he took the Washington job, right? There was no portal, but all of a sudden he started getting West Coast guys like Troy Williams and company, guys that started playing at a really high level. And then, of course, there's Kenny Dillingham, who gets the job as the youngest guy in America and just kills it in year two. Are you kidding me? Year one, they're running formations that we've never seen in our lifetime because they don't have enough offensive linemen against Liatu Latu and UCLA. Now they're in the freaking CFP off a bye. Like, are you kidding me? So where's your head go in this one?
Well, you look at ASU, and obviously they're red hot here down the stretch, 6 game winning streak. And I thought the number that really stood out to me from that is they've got a +9 turnover margin during that streak. They've forced 11 and only turned it over twice. So they've really, been opportunistic at that. And you talk about, someone who's willing to take chances. Kenny Dillingham is the guy who's gonna be willing to take chances. Um, but looking at some of the things, obviously, Sark is known as an offensive guy, but this Texas team, their defense, top 10 in total defense, top 10 in scoring defense, top 10 in run defense, top 10 in pass defense. So what is this ASU offense going to be able to do against them? Cam Scadaboo, last 3 games, almost 500 rushing yards, 9 total touchdowns. Sam Levitt since the 1st of November, he has 16 passing touchdowns, tied for the most of any, but him and Klubnik and Shador, those three are tied for with 16 since the beginning of November. So how are they going to be able to keep doing this? And then Texas has kind of found their run game. I mean, they had 292 yards on the ground in that Clemson game, the most they had all season. So uh, it's is ASU going to be able to do on offense what they did in the Big 12 championship game, or at least some, maybe not to the prolificness, but are they going to be as effective as that to be able to really hang with this Texas team?
Yeah, I go back to the same. I hate to say it, but like I think in these playoff games, I'm not a fan of like it's not an invitational. The best rosters don't get invited. But if you have one of the best rosters and you win and you're here and you get an invitation, like there's a reason. That's Texas,
Yeah.
right? Arizona State. I mean, think about what they've been able to do. It's been impressive. They did it in a league that is a mishmash of similar teams, right? BYU, Arizona State, Colorado, Iowa State, Kansas. Like, there's a version of themselves. And to your point, Arizona State has caught it, and they've ran with it. Cam Scadaboo being the leader there. I do love Pete Kwiatkowski versus Marcus Arroyo. Marcus, I'm such a fan of what he has done. Same deal with Pete in his time at Texas or at Washington. We've seen Marcus at his stops at Oregon, UNLV, and now here at Arizona State. They know what they're going up against. The Arizona State is not going to just run their offense. Like they are very aware of the monsters that they have to go face on the defensive side and that defensive front, and that's what it'll be. XL wise, it'll be such a joy to watch. It'll be awesome because you are looking at like for the nerds out there, the Jeff Tedford disciple of Marcus Arroyo. Like Marcus Arroyo in his early 30s, he was calling plays at Tampa Bay Bucks when Jeff Tedford first had to step away from the game due to health reasons. Like he is phenomenal. He spent all of last year touring the country to the best offensive minds in football. I mean, he is big time. Sark is as well. And then you go to the defensive side of Arizona State. Brian Ward, huge fan of him. I love that those two guys have gotten the money they deserve in the contract extensions that they have earned to stay at Arizona State. The thing that I'll be most intrigued with, though, is Sam Levitt. I mean, he had a quote this week that made me say, I love it, but I don't love it. Or he's like, I'm going to prove I'm the better quarterback. And that's out of I think every quarterback you want to have an edge, especially playing for Marcus or Kenny. You're going to have that cultivated, but it's also out of character. To me, when I heard that, I was like, "Ooh, bro, you don't." He's not even on the field when you're on the field. Like if you're sitting on the sideline thinking, "I'm gonna out throw that guy," or he made a play, I made a play. There's a part where that's fun, and that's Vince Young, Matt Liner. But when you're your first year in college as a second year player, as a starter, versus the veteran and Quinn Ewers, that to me is like, and you probably as a coach, you probably don't say anything because you love the confidence he's riding. But I'll be curious if I was calling the game, I'd have a camera on him after a negative play, and I'd say, Rhett Lewis on the sideline, what is the body language like? Because that to me was out of out of character. I don't know his character, but out of character for that position in a game.
Yeah. And to his credit, when Quinn Ewers was asked about it at their media day, he was just like, it'll be a fun matchup, whatever. Like he really downplayed it and kind of let him off the hook with the whole thing, like not trying to make a thing, because that's a much more a veteran move, to your point
Yeah.
there.